Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News9 Live. We are talking about targeting terror in Kashmir, albeit with a nuanced perspective. Because it's usually in films and gun battle-based video games that one gets a chance to see cool equipment and next-generation firepower. But with the Central Reserve Police Force's Valley Quick Action Team, our forces have turned a new leaf in the domain of security in the Kashmir Valley. But at the same time, the stakes are high and the danger is more than just real. Over the past several years, there has been a remarkable improvement in the situation in the valley. The days of stone pelting and law and order demonstrations have become negligible. Schools and markets don't shut down anymore. Strikes have become a thing of the past. And that's not all. The unit called Valley Quick Action Team of the CRPF has successfully battled terrorists, busted modules and tackled major encounters efficiently. Today, we look at News9 Plus's documentary series on CRPF's elite commander unit, the Valley Quick Action Team, that descended into the J&K Valley in the year 2016, facing a two-headed monster, civilian unrest and terrorism. What's the situation 7 years down the line? Well, we'll talk about it in just a bit. First, here's a snippet. Take a look.
Carry on, sir.
हमें हमेशा अलर्ट रहना होता है।
3-1-2 मार्च।
मतलब 24/7।
बुलेट और बम कहीं से भी आ सकती है।
हमारा मकसद आतंकवाद को जड़ से उखाड़ना है। ऐसी परिस्थितियों में डर तो सबको लगता है,
लेकिन अगर हम डर गए
तो टेररिस्ट को कौन डराएगा?
Today, shops are open, there's no shutdown or hartal, and the tricolor is flying high right behind me at the historic clock tower. I'm standing at the Lal Chowk, which was once considered the epicenter of unrest in the Kashmir Valley. This change hasn't been easy. The CRPF's Valley Quick Action Team is now marking a new chapter in the history of Jammu and Kashmir.
I'm Charu Sinha, IPS, IG Srinagar Sector CRPF, and I am the first woman police officer to ever head any sector in the Kashmir Valley in CRPF. In the year 2010, the Valley QAT came into existence. In 2016, it started getting into operations. And by operations, I mean anti-terrorist operations in Srinagar city.
जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि 2016 वो दौर था जिसे बुरहान वानी का दौर बोला जाता है। टेररिज्म ग्लैमराइज हो रहा था सोशल मीडिया पे। लोग हथियार उठाते थे, हथियार उठा करके उसको सोशल मीडिया पे शेयर करते थे। इस दौर में घाटी ने वो दिन देखे हैं जब बहुत ही गंदे तरीके से लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इश्यूज, पत्थरबाजी, गाड़ियों पे आग लगा देना, ये सब चीज़ें हुआ और इसको साथ के साथ सपोर्ट किया था टेररिज्म ने।
There were so many sporadic incidents happening around the city at that point of time that the local forces which were deployed were not enough.
तो उसके लिए जब शहरी क्षेत्र में अब आपको जब काम करना पड़ता है तो आपको मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ कार्य करना है। खतरनाक अगर कोई ऑपरेशन होता है जिसमें सबसे ज़्यादा रिस्क है, मोस्ट रिस्की, दैट इज रूम इंटरवेंशन। And this Valley QAT has created an expertise in room intervention.
Whether it is equipment like a corner shotgun or anti-material gun, anything and everything which right now is required, the Valley QAT has it.
How's the Josh? हमारे कमांडोज लेवल 4 प्रोटेक्शन वाला हेलमेट और बीपी जैकेट पहनते हैं। इसमें हम नाइट विजन मोनोकुलर डिवाइस माउंट रखते हैं जो कि हमें दिन और रात में देखने और सटीक निशाना लगाने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है। इसके अलावा हमारे पास है गन शॉट लोकेटर। हमारा प्राइमरी वेपन है AK-47 जिसमें हमने एडवांस मॉडिफिकेशन किट लगा रखी है। इसमें हमने 640 अर्जुन थर्मल इमेजर साइट भी माउंट कर रखी है, जो कि हमें रात में भी सटीक निशाना लगा करके दुश्मन को बर्बाद करने की क्षमता प्रदान करती है। इसके अलावा हमारा सेकेंडरी वेपन है ग्लॉक 19 पिस्टल, हमारे हिंदुस्तान में बनी हुई एंटी मटेरियल राइफल विध्वंसक। अर्बन वारफेयर के दौरान अगर कहीं पर भी आतंकवादी किसी कंक्रीट या स्टील की दीवार के पीछे छुप जाते हैं तो हम इस राइफल का इस्तेमाल करते हुए उसको बर्बाद करते हैं।
Now you can download the News9 Plus application. It's on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store as well. But to talk more about the Valley Quick Action Team of the Central Reserve Police Force, joining me in the studio is the man behind the documentary, Aditya Raj Kaul, Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs for News9 Plus. And also joining us on the broadcast for an expert voice is Dr. A.P. Maheshwari, former DG of the CRPF. A very warm welcome on the broadcast to you, sir, as well. Aditya, you know, it was really moving to see this documentary. It's got a patriotic flavor as well. How successful has the Valley Quick Action Team been? You know, why did you think of making a documentary on them?
Well, firstly, CRPF Valley QAT has had a very significant role over the last many years. 2016 was known as the year of Burhan Wani in Kashmir. He became the poster boy of terrorism and violence in the Kashmir Valley. Even though Burhan Wani himself had not led even a single terror attack, he had not killed perhaps even a single person, but his charisma, his face, and the Pakistan ISI's propaganda and the radicals' involvement on social media led to him being created into a social media star and a poster boy. Because of Burhan Wani's death, there was a massive recruitment also that happened in Srinagar, Pulwama, and other neighboring areas as well. So Valley QAT has been in action ever since 2016. They've had a killing strike rate of 78 in about 42 operations, which is massive. They've won almost each and every significant award that is there, including Shaurya Chakra as well as Kirti Chakra. So, you know, it's interesting how CRPF has built this elite commando force, you know, in short amount of time, and with not many immense amount of resources coming in from the central pool. Usually, you know, Army or the NSG or such elite forces are known for the commandos. But here is the CRPF, which has a large number of CRPF Valley QAT commandos in Srinagar, active all across. And whenever there is an operation, you know, the usual drill is that the intelligence is mostly received by the J&K police or sometimes by the Army and the CRPF. And then a joint operation is launched by the Army, J&K police and the CRPF all across Kashmir. But Srinagar is different. In Srinagar, there is no presence of Indian Army. Indian Army cannot operate in any of the operations in Srinagar. So that's why CRPF Valley QAT's role is much more significant in Srinagar. So Jammu and Kashmir SOG, which is the Special Operations Group, along with the Valley QAT of the CRPF, launch each and every operation. They've had many significant operations, including one in Bishambar Nagar in Rainawari, in which a dreaded terrorist was killed. We know inside one of the Mughal gardens last year, there was a terrorist who was killed at a very close range. So CRPF Valley QAT is you know, immensely important for eradicating terrorism and radicalization from Kashmir. And perhaps it is required that even other districts of Kashmir need to have a similar force like the CRPF QAT.
In the documentary, Aditya, there's this part where a woman soldier of the unit talks about how this little girl walks up to her and then, you know, looks at the Indian flag and salutes it. You know, really says a lot about the patriotic flavor of the documentary as well. But taking a look at a post-abrogation of Article 370 scenario, what are some of the challenges that the QAT is facing in particular?
See, prior to Article 370, there was continuous terrorism, there were encounters that were going on, and there were these terror attacks that were underway. Small-scale attacks as well as big-scale attacks. So, one of the major attacks that we know in the recent public memory is the Pulwama terror attack that happened. And even prior to that, we have had significant attacks where particularly the J&K police and the CRPF were under attack in Srinagar, Pulwama, in Baramulla, and several other areas of the Kashmir Valley. Article 370, as we all know, was a significant historic step that the government took to bring in Jammu and Kashmir closer to New Delhi, and all the central rules that were applicable all across the country are now equally applicable in Jammu and Kashmir as well. So one of the significant aspects has been, if we compare the statistics of violence and terrorism of last 5 years, last 4 years, with the previous 4 years, then you will see a significant dip in violence, terrorism, encounters, and even infiltration as well as recruitment. You see, whenever a significant terrorist was eliminated and killed, the entire janaza or the funeral that used to happen unfortunately became also a camp for recruitment. So every time a big terrorist or a commander was killed, there were at least 10 to 15 young teenagers or boys who were recruited into terrorism. That policy was completely ended by the government. Only the family members and the close family members of terrorists were allowed to do the funeral, that too in a particular area in North Kashmir, not elsewhere. Apart from that, post 370, we've had, as I said, a significant dip in violence. There are less number of encounters that are happening. There is significant drop in infiltration also. We can also say that it's not just 370, it's also Pakistan that has been under tremendous pressure economically, politically and otherwise, and that's why they're not able to pump in as many resources and money into cross-border terrorism or proxy war. But 370 has changed the discourse completely. 370 has brought a paradigm shift in Kashmir, both externally and internally, and I would say this would certainly go a long way. In any conflict, things do not change overnight. It's just been close to 4 years now, and I think in the next few years there will be a significant shift. But CRPF has certainly played a very crucial role, and I would emphasize that CRPF hasn't got the kind of credit that it should till now, and that's why we thought here at News9 Plus that the first documentary of a special series which is on the special forces all across the country, we'll travel with the NSG, we'll travel with the Indian Army, we'll travel even with the Delhi Police and Mumbai Police to see how their elite force works. But the first force that came to my mind was the CRPF Valley QAT, because they have had a massive contribution, but a silent contribution that hasn't really got the credit, be it institutionally or by the media.